I think last year alone we did Walmart, we did Amazon, we did Sony Music. We partnered with Yelp Atlanta. We did Jada
Waiter
in January. So, you know, I show up to work like any other situation. We kill it. Jada's energy was amazing. We're going to put this video in Times Square, and we're going to have a magazine release in New York at the Lobos headquarters.
That's hard. That's hard.
At the Lobos headquarters in New York. So I'm like, what?
Shit, that's hard, bro.
I'm like, yo, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Building a legacy, so watch how you study me. You know it's inherited, ain't no comparison, stacking up guaranteed. Moving so militant, consistent and disciplined. Getting that paper and stacking it up, no time for no chilling, man. Building a legacy, so watch how you study me. You know it's inherited, ain't no comparison, stacking up guaranteed. Moving so militant, consistent and disciplined. Getting that paper and stacking it up, no time for no chilling, man.
Yo, what's going on? It's Sir Gates back for another episode of the Inherited Podcast, man. I hope y'all doing great today. But today, I got a special guest in the building. You know, I made a promise, man. So the first episode y'all gonna see is with my bro, man. So I'm gonna let him introduce himself. Mr. AC Hampton, what's good with you, bro?
What's going on, man?
Chilling,
Definitely
man.
Happy to be here.
Yes,
and
sir.
It's been a long time coming for sure.
Yeah, man. You've been talking about this for a while, dog. I finally got you in the building, but nonetheless, like I say, we here. So before we get started, we'd like to do real quick, it's a pod deck right here, just an icebreaker. So I don't know what card I'm gonna pull and what it's gonna say. I promise I don't know what it's gonna say when I pull it out. So it's gonna be a question on here just to get it started. So let's see what this is. What's the most favorite thing you've bought this year?
The most favorite thing that I've bought this year. What have I bought this year? I'm trying to think of something cool and not like just like a piece of equipment, but it might just be a piece of
might be. That's what mine
it's gonna be a camera.
Yeah.
I bought a Sony FX30, so that was probably the most expensive thing this year because I haven't really been needing anything, and I've been slowing down on like the purchases because I just been going crazy a little bit. But I bought the FX30 right before I went to Thailand, and I used it out in Thailand. Just testing it out on the people.
That video was dope, dog.
Appreciate
I seen it. Yeah, all that stuff he be doing be hard, man.
I appreciate it, bro.
Everything look good. Well, mine, let's see. Well, it'd be lenses for camera. Same thing here. I've been buying nothing but tech this whole year to prepare for this spot here. So mine would be a lens as well, a good focal length lens. So that would be my favorite thing I bought this year. So now the ice been broken. So what we want to do today, again, when they hear the podcast, I just like to get people's origin story, like. How did they come up and how did they get to where they're at now in life through their trials, tribulations, success, and whatnot? So pretty much, if you can, just take us back to how I first started, like childhood, growing up, school, family-wise. So what was life like for AC growing up before he even picked up a camera?
Okay, cool. We'll take it back. So originally I'm from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Like a lot of people think I'm from Atlanta, but
I thought you was from Atlanta, man.
Yeah, I'm not really from Atlanta. I didn't move to Atlanta until the summer after I graduated high school, and that was 2007. I'm not gonna say my age, but if y'all just do the math, we could do it like
it's
that.
Okay, good.
Okay, cool. So growing up, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Fort Lauderdale is different. It's just different from Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? And growing up, I didn't have the chance to see a lot of like black people winning, you know what I'm saying? Like getting money, like how you see on an average day in Atlanta, just luxury, just your average black person.
Yeah, that's
just
a regular out here.
That's a regular out here. So that's not necessarily a regular out there. It's a big melting pot in South Florida. Haitians, Cubans, Jamaicans, you know what I'm saying? Everyone's down there. A lot of people ain't even supposed to be down there. So we all really just down there hustling, trying to keep it together. So I grew up, it was just my mom, my dad passed away at a young age.
Sorry to hear that, man.
And just me and my older brother and my older sister. So that was basically my upbringing, man. Nothing too crazy. You know, school, hanging out a little bit. But as far as like my youth, like I was really like, I don't want to say shy, but more so like in a shell. Like I was just,
like an introverted kind of.
More so like
what
an
they
introvert.
Say, introverted, extrovert when you need to be.
Yeah, when I need to be. So it was kind of more so like smooth sailing up until I got to college and I realized, you know, it's a lot that comes with that independence. And it's like you realize and you learn a lot about yourself when you away from home and you doing all this stuff. So by the time I got to Albany.
Yeah, shout out to Albany State.
Yeah. By the time I got to Albany, I don't want to say I was even like skilled within the camera. Like me and my boy Tony back in Fort Lauderdale, and he's probably the person who actually put a camera in my hands.
Wow.
We used to go down to the beach and like take pictures of our cars. Like we had like the souped up Hondas and stuff. We was like on the fast.
That was the thing back then. You had your first car. They got that thing and some 12s in the back or something.
Man. So we would get the pictures popping, put them on MySpace. You know what I'm saying? We had the DSLR, so ain't nobody really have like the quality of pictures like that. So when we dropped them, they was hard. You know what I'm saying?
Back saying MySpace and having DSLR back then, I bet them pictures were hard though.
Yeah,
back then it was just what you had a flip phone. Or your sidekick or something. Them pictures what down there 5 megapixels coming out.
So we was coming different. You know what I'm saying? I think we had like a little. I think it was a Nikon D60, and it was huge. It had the battery grip, it had everything on it. So when we took it out, it just looked hella official. So by the time I got to Albany, just working myself in the mix, I feel like by the time I got there, I ain't really know what I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I was kind of just navigating through with everybody else. It wasn't like it was something like I had to go to college. I was actually the first person like traditionally in my family to graduate.
That's
college.
hard, dog.
Yeah.
Man, that's hard. A lot of folks actually had it in their family. For me, like I was the third to go, luckily, but again, I ended up dropping out. But now caught up to date. I've actually finished it. So, but being the first person in your family to go to college, how did your parents take that as far as like not worship wise, but saying were they ecstatic for you in that situation, or was it just like another thing? Okay, good job, AC. How was your parents' support in that area?
I think it was a support. Me and my mom have a very unique relationship. We're more so like that's my partner. You know what I'm saying? So we're able to be like real. So she expressed to me how important it was to kind of, knock that out. But at the same time, she had went back to school. So we kind of graduated around the same time. But
that's
on the
dope.
traditional aspect, I was the only one to finish. I think other people went. Unfortunately,
was that
finish.
When you like that foundation, was that how y'all was in y'all family to where it's either you go through grade school, you graduate high school, you go into college, and that's the ground rules, or did they give you the options of where, if you don't want to go to college, you can do X, Y, and Z, or was it strictly like this is how we did it, whomever else did it, or you had the freedom to pretty much choose in that area?
I think I more so had the freedom to choose, but it stemmed from a traditional foundation. So it was like you go to school, you find a good job, you live your life. You know what I'm saying? So me stepping out the box when I did, it was like it was static, bro. It wasn't like easy
what was
thing.
Your family, or you just saying just with you just stepping into that new part of your life?
Both.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? So I won't jump. So taking it back a little bit. So by the time I got to Albany, and I decided to play more with the camera, like alone. So now I'm by myself and I'm kind of doing it. I kind of use the campus as a stepping stone. So any event or setting up in the union or whatever I was doing, it was kind of just like practice until somebody was like, hey, how much can I pay you to do that? So when somebody said like, pay me, I'm like, oh man, let me start, you know what I'm saying? Let me start taking this a little bit more seriously. So by the time I actually do want to charge, I'm prepared and I don't want to look like an amateur. I never wanted to look like an amateur. It's either we having fun with it or we doing it for real.
Facts.
So I had fun with it up until it was time to do it for real. And by the time maybe like junior, senior year, I was enjoying and having a little bit more emotion with a camera in my hand than just anything else. Like I didn't want to be involved in all the other stuff because I'm like, all right, cool. I noticed that I got a gift, I got a lane, and I got hella support. Even to this day.
You sure did, dog. I'm telling you.
This day.
What year did you pick up? You say you like really got started with it?
That was probably like 2009, 2010 in Albany.
Okay, because I met you in 2010. Because nonetheless, you was the first person who get my first photo shoot, dog. You was the first person ever to give me. It was me, Con Ivory. We had the baseball bat. We wasn't picking us up about your crib. It was I forgot where you stayed. Whatever apartment.
I think Westwood.
Somewhere over there. Yeah, dog. We had pulled up. Yeah. I still got those photos on Facebook too, dog.
That's crazy.
But you was the first person to do our first photo shoot, dog. And that's why I was like, man, because how I feel, like, especially when I invite guests to the podcast, it's just, we'll be random people, but people like you who played a major role into me actually being in front of a camera, I got to bring y'all back, man, because y'all, nonetheless, y'all are part of the journey. Like, without that photo shoot, who knows what I would have done as far as saying, let me not do that. Because we was always doing music, but the photos and stuff, we really we just knew make music, but the branding and stuff like that, we was like, man, what we gonna do? I don't know how we got in contact with you, but
I don't know.
I just know that day we ended up at your apartment, dog, and it was on and popping, bro.
Yeah,
so salute to you for that, man.
Hey, I appreciate that.
Yeah, dog, salute to you for that. So when you what was your first big gig, whether it was from Albany State or after that? Well, not too much after, because I know after Albany State, man, you went crazy, dog. So what was your first big thing where you was like, well, damn, I can really do this, and I'm gonna take this like serious, and just take out with photography and videography?
I think my first big, it wasn't necessarily a gig, it was more so an opportunity. So for me, when I really like locked in on this, I knew like, you know, this is what I want to do. So I don't know if you remember Robin. She was a really good friend of mine.
I remember Robin.
Shout out to Robin. Shout out to Rob. So it had to be either my first or second year at Albany, and she was like, oh, yo, is somebody coming to speak at Simmons? He's a photographer. You should go check it out. And I'm like, man, I ain't on that. Like, I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying? So she's like, bro, just come or whatever. So I end up going and listen to the guy speak. It ended up being Alan Cooley. He's a ASU alumni as well, and he's a prominent photographer in Atlanta. He's dope. So I was listening to him speak, and I'm like, yo, like, this what I want to do. This is who I want to be. Like, I love the way he talk. I love the way he's passionate about what he do. So I approached him after the end of the segment. I'm like, yo, I'm your guy. Hella confidence. Way too confident. Way too confident.
You said, wait, you think it's too much? You start thinking you have too much confidence?
Let in too strong. So I'm like, yo, I'm your guy. I'm like, listen, bro, like, anything you need, like, you know, I'll leave Albany in a heartbeat. It's nothing. So he was like, yo, just holler at me when you graduate. I'm like, bro, I got like two years left, maybe 3 if I'm going down the path that I'm going, right? So ultimately, I did graduate. So I think I graduated December 14th. I sent him an email December 15th.
Oh, you was on it, dog.
Bro, what? And throughout that time span, I was sending emails. I was sending work. I'm like, yo, this is what I got going on. Like, this is who I am.
That's
like,
I mean, a lot of people want to do that, though. Being persistent and actually chasing what you want to do and following up. They probably would have heard that, oh, hit me when you graduate. Like, man, nah, he ain't going to reply. Or 2-3 years down the line, I ain't about to sit here and do this shit, this and that. But the fact that you stayed on course and was pursuing that, a lot of people don't have that drive in them, dog.
Yeah. I didn't even realize it was drive. It was just something that I wanted. I'm like, okay, this is what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? So sent the email December 15th, January 1st, I was in the studio. I was interning.
Look at God.
I was interning. And at this time, Alan was on fire, bro. He was shooting a lot of commercial stuff. I think this like when The Game was popping, the show The Game.
I used to love that show, dog.
Bro, he shot like all the ad work for that and just like different celebrities or something. So by the time we linked up and I was able to assist and I got in the studio, like he was, I don't want to say in his prime, but he was killing it, bro. So I'm coming from college, like I'm shooting my partners, I'm shooting parties, I'm shooting, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing a little something, but it ain't with the confidence that I had seeing like the real industry. I'm like, I have a lot to learn. Like it's a lot of work to do.
So not to cut you off, but when you started working with him, was that your first time like really being exposed to that and on that level?
It was definitely the first time. Excuse me, I was exposed to anything entertainment wise, especially when it comes to just working here in Atlanta. And I just took that as a stepping stone, and I just bro took off. I was a sponge. Like anything you want me to do,
though, I swear.
Anything. I don't care if you want me to clean this table in the corner. I'm gonna soak up knowledge from the corner.
Yeah, you
know what I'm saying. I'm not in here to take over. I'm just in here to learn.
That's why you where you at today, dog. I'm telling you, bro. Because it's like, everybody may be an alpha male, alpha woman, whatever it may be, but at some point in your life, you got to be able to step back and. What I used to say, you got to be able to be a good follower to become a good leader. And the fact that you was able to just, okay, let me just humble myself down. I'm an intern. Whatever y'all got for me, I'm going to do it. But at least you was still, you weren't sitting here whimpering and crying about why I'm wiping the table and why I'm doing this and that. You still, okay, this is just a part of the journey. But while I'm still here, it's free game all around me. So let me be smart enough to sit here and open up my ears and let me pick up this game or shoot whomever. I guarantee you sit here and asking folks questions and stuff. So, but it just sucks that a lot of people don't want to do that because they feel like either this is making me feel beneath what I'm worth or this and that. But you really gotta work for what you want. Like when I got into making t-shirts, I was just doing vinyl at first. But at one point I was like, man, I know I'm gonna reach my cap doing this. I was timing myself. It takes this amount of time to weed, this amount of time to press, and this and that. So I'm like, man, if I want to grow this, I gotta learn some more. So I hit up a local screen printer. Like, look, dude, I hit up 3 people. No, you can't come in. No, you can't come in. The last dude, I was like, look, man, I just want to come in, learn this trade, and I promise you, I don't want a dime. I will work for free. He was like, all right, come on, pull on up. So the first day I was there, I'm just watching. I ain't saying the word. He talking, but I'm trying to pick him on this stuff fast and get it in. But by that next week, he was like, dude, you want a job? I'm like, no, I don't want no money. Because then again, it was still to the point where if I know he was paying me, now I'm kind of obligated to come. But first, before that, I was saying I'd be there Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9 to 2 just to learn. But just when you got work ethic, people notice that, dog. And they notice when you trying to learn. Because with him, he was real. If you're not trying to listen to me and learn, I don't need you here because he can do it himself. But if he needs some help, you really got to replicate who you working for. But just to say outside of that, just having good work ethic, it'll open up so many doors for you out here in life and not just feeling like you less than because you're doing less than work than what you really want to do. But having that mindset is what everybody should adapt to. But just going back to what you were saying, doing your photography and videography journey, right? I'm pretty sure that there has been some times where you was like, man, forget this camera, I want to put it down. Or they may not though, but if there were times like that where you wanted to quit or give up, talk about those incident of those times and how you overcame that mentally to where you was just like, you know what? I'm not gonna quit. I'm gonna keep going. So what are some of those moments that happened for you in your journey?
I think it's definitely been multiple times on different levels. I think once you enter a new level, you kind of just start from the bottom. So you got to just work your way up to where you know you want to be. And you know, that's why just speaking about approaching things with confidence, it definitely played a key into where I am. Because it was a lot of times I wanted to quit. Like even saying coming from a traditional aspect, most of our families that it is go to school, get a good job, get you some money, and take care of your family. Just live your life a little bit. Survival.
Yeah.
So I was the first person to really kind of break out of that. So starting the entrepreneur journey, it was hard. It was hard to be like, hey, this is what I want to do with this camera. And it's just accepted. It wasn't just accepted. My mom like, what? Nigga, get a job.
Right. I
finish
feel
school.
you on that.
Like, what are you talking about?
That was the route.
You gonna give all this shit up to be a picture man?
Not the picture man.
You gonna be the picture man? So it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? That was definitely a level. It wasn't until, you know, I started to get a little motion. I think when you do things that your family don't expect or you touch people that are kind of unreachable to the average person, then it's like, okay.
Open them eyes up.
My son's a photographer.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I had to work with certain people and that's why I try to encourage people to not be so hard on their family because they're like, oh, I don't get the acknowledgement, I don't get the respect and the support, but it's like, sometimes you really just got to show them. It's a part of the game.
That's what family and friends as well,
it's just
dog.
A part of the game, man. So it's like, when you finally win them over, just keep moving forward. Just keep teaching. So it's like, before I couldn't fathom my mom accepting it. Now it's like she knows it's a no-brainer. Like where my camera is taking me is like she knows what it is. You know what I'm saying? So now she's on her entrepreneurship journey. Like she does like the t-shirt presses and stuff like that. My sister, she does her thing. So it was like when you take risks, you kind of open up the doors.
You do that
for a lot of people. So that was definitely a moment. And another moment was just on a whole nother level. Like I feel like maybe this time like last year, I was killing it, bro. I was making good bread. I was getting good opportunities, but I was burnt out. Cause it's just like when you working in this field, you never know when your money's coming. So when it's coming, you like, I need all that.
Yeah.
I need all that. You know what I'm saying? So they calling me like, how much you got? Bet, I'll be there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm scraping it up because I went so long without that. You know what I'm saying? Without that opportunity, that, you know, financial gain. It's like when it's coming in, bro, I need all of that. And then I just hit a wall like, bro, what am I just feel like all I do is work. And then the money that I do get, I don't spend it. And then if I do spend it, it's on bullshit because I'm just like trying to ease the pain of like work. So it's like I'm off work, so let's go out to eat. Let's go get some drinks. Let's go, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I ain't necessarily, not that I was just completely irresponsible. I made some investments, but the time that I did have, I was just fucking the money up.
So did that, was that time where you saying like when you was burnt out, were you like also stressed and going through things mentally and stuff at that time?
Mental, anxiety, stress. You know, I always want to show up as my best self. I always want to deliver the best quality of work. So I was just stretching myself thin in between all my clients. It was coming back to back. And it was at a moment, I'm like, bro, what am I doing? Like, how can I hire somebody to do this? And I just kind of step back and I'll just outsource. I'll contract somebody because now I'm not happy about it. Now I'm not excited. Now I feel like I'm about to go. Was that easy for you
to do? Because I know what outsourcing, like with me, I'm an outsourced person, but just because of how I operate, and I had to learn this myself, I have so high expectations for myself. When I get somebody else to do something, it's like, man, I don't know if I can trust them to do it or they're going to do it like me. But I learned is where if you outsource something, right, and if they at least, as long as the job is done and it's done right, it'll never be 100% as if you were doing it. But if they do it and do it right to at least 70 or 80%, you just got to live with that. So, but with you, was that easy for you to do as far as like get over that hurdle to outsource your work?
It's still not easy to this day. Definitely wasn't easy back then. I feel like I have, I definitely got a team and a set amount of people that I contract, but if they're not available, if the people that I want aren't available, I just don't mess with it because it's been situations where I outsourced and it went well. It's been situations where I outsourced and it was a shit show, and the shit show falls back on me, you know? So it's like I get chewed up and then I still got to pay you and then you just
go on about your day.
Shit. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I'm definitely mindful when it comes to experiences like that, man, because it's not only the quality of the work. Like my customers are used to being treated well. Like my clients are, you know what I'm saying? It's an experience.
Boy, preacher, y'all.
So it's like they love to be taken care of, and I ensure like I'm gonna take care of you. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get this work, but I'm gonna make sure you feel good throughout the process. I'm gonna make sure I'm keeping you abreast of what we're doing, whether it be camera settings or what post-production or how you actually need to use this footage moving forward to brand yourself.
That's A1,
like
dog.
It's a package. So if I'm only sending out the camera and the camera guys kind of like, let's do this and let's get out. But it's more to it than that.
Because some folks, they really all about the money, bro. They don't care about how you feel when you leave, the impression they leave once they gone. It's just, all right, work, pay, deuces. But little do they know, when you provide somebody an experience, that stuff lasts for a long time. And that's also how you get referrals, how you get, hey, man, I work with AC, and he did X, Y, and Z for me, da-da-da. You should work with him. Boom. That's more cash and more cash. But you'll be surprised. Some people don't give a damn, bro, about the experience they leave, or let me say the impression that they leave on a client or whomever is brought their way. But the fact that you're doing that, I guarantee that's a big reason why you are where you are today. Because you're doing some big things, bro. Now I'm giving you your flowers now, dog. I've been waiting, 3 years to do this interview to tell y'all this stuff, but you've been doing some dope stuff, bro. And I love that for you in the success that you're having, dog. So if I had some flowers, but there you go, bro.
Thank you, bro.
There you go. But another question for you, man. So I know you said as far as doing some of those downtimes, it was stressful, going through like mental things. So I'm a big person from mental health, right? So during those times, how did you overcome that mentally? Like, what were some things you did, whether it's meditation or prayer or taking walks? Or how do you get over those hurdles mentally when you're going through this stress or those hard times in your life?
For me personally, during that time, maybe more so the beginning, I didn't really understand how to take grasp of like my mental health, you know, because I deal with a lot of anxiety. Like everything just feels like pressure. And then when it builds up, I'm like, oh shit, like this, you know, it just felt like the world on my shoulders. I think more so for me now, what I've learned is to just take a step back. I don't feel like anything that I do, no matter who it's for, the company, big or small, none of this shit is important.
Yeah.
You can't convince me that, for sure. You know, this camera is going to be some life or death situation. It's not. So I've been taking a lot of steps back to just enjoy my journey. I feel like the opportunities, sometimes they come back to back, and sometimes the magnitude of them is just huge. So sometimes I'm like, okay, let me just stop and smell my flowers. Like, let me just stop and like really realize that, okay, you're doing some amazing things, because a lot of people don't even get one of these opportunities.
That is a fact,
so when they come in, I'm like, all right, cool. Let me take a step back. And me taking a step back, I'm able to know myself more, appreciate myself more, appreciate my family, spend time with my kids, like in-depth time, not just like we hang out and then I just go to work, like some real time. So those moments for me, basically just allow me to just step back and more so enjoy what I'm doing. That relieves the stress in me, man. So by the time I get back to work, I'm like, okay, cool, let's work. Because, you know, I poured into myself. The things that I actually enjoy, I'm doing it. So now that it's time to work, it's just time to work. It's not just work all the time.
Understood,
like, taking a step back for me is allowed me to take such a grasp on my anxiety, man, because it sometimes it gets bad.
Oh, I was about to ask you deal with like bad sometimes, like real bad.
Real bad. And it's not even something that I talk about, but I'll be transparent. Like it's just bad. Like my chest, like all this type of stuff. And you know, as men, it's not easy being vulnerable. Like, hey,
it's not, dog.
Hey, my boy, my anxiety, bro, I can't pull up on you. I know I said I was gonna be up, bro, but my anxiety, niggas don't, you know what I'm saying? Like,
bro, understood.
That's
man.
not the most
Especially
comfortable
again,
thing to
it may
do.
sound cliche, but in the Black community, but it's for real. Like I tell all my homies, don't be scared to go to therapy or counseling. I when I got in the military, it was just the fact that I was uprooted from the east side of Decatur, and then my whole life just switched. So when I came back, the job I was doing there, it was shooting rockets and missiles. That's not transferable back to the city.
Right.
Like, what the hell am I supposed to do with that on my resume? But it was just like, man, what I'm gonna do. So I went through times of depression and anxiety, even to the point where they tried to give me pills. But it was just like, man, do I want to sit here and just succumb to popping pills every other day, or versus doing the real work, trying to find ways to control the depression or get out of the anxiety? So doing that work, it helped me out. But and also, I was seeing a counselor and therapist once a week, doing that for once a week, drop down in twice a week. But even now, like I just got back into it, no lie, 3 weeks ago. I was like, man, I felt like I was in a good spot to where, okay, I don't need it no more. But it's like, I feel you will never be in such a great spot and not have that outlet of somebody with no judgment, or to be able to express yourself to and just let loose to it. And it's a free room, but actually have somebody who really cares to respond. Because sometimes you don't know how to get through things until somebody asks you a specific question you need to be heard. So you're like, now that does make sense. So let me think about it this way and that way. But being vulnerable and transparent as a man, there is not a lot of spaces for it. But as friends and homies, we should be able to create those spaces for ourselves, dog, to do that. But that to say, it's good as you work on your mental health and get rid of some of that stress and anxiety. And I still pray that, you know, you may still deal with it, but at least you're doing the work to get it done. But on the switch the gears on a positive note, like I said, you've been doing some great things, dog. So we gonna.
What have you been seeing? Because what are the great things? All right, I think it's like the thing, like I told you, the opportunities come, and it's like sometimes you just going to work, right? So sometimes the name sometimes seems a lot bigger than the opportunity. Not saying the opportunity isn't big, but I'm always curious to know, like, what's the big thing for people? Because it's like a range of things. Like right now, I'm doing like travel things. I'm working for a travel agency, and I'm like all across the world shooting like different content and stuff. And like
that's what I was going to bring up. It's like, because I'm so deep into content. With me, like the name doesn't weigh as much as like what you're actually creating, what you're doing. Because I value the creation more than who you're creating the force. When I see you traveling across seas and being able to shoot stuff, or what you had on like Netflix and stuff like that, things to me like that, that's big, bro. Like no matter who it is, or if it's a 1 minute clip or a 2 minute clip, seeing where you came from and the quality of your work, and even what was her name? Is it Watson? She's a realtor.
Kiana.
Yes, Kiana. Seeing, like, I ran into her way after you, but just seeing how, meeting her in person and finding out, damn, AC did work for her and what she got going on. To me, that stuff is big, bro. Like your name is being brought up in rooms, and you're being placed into rooms to where you're providing the content and the value for these already millionaires to be able to become more of a millionaire, or to become more successful. Like you at the source of that. Slick, they can hire somebody else, but without you, they wouldn't have had those hard ass promo videos or short content, whatever it may be. But that's what, to me, bro, that's big, dog. You play a major role in other people's lives, whether they want to know. They may feel like, I'm just hiring their photographer. Without this dude here, y'all wouldn't have that $1 million, not $1 million, but 1 million views on that video. And to have you get more clientele because of what you show and what you created, somebody else seen it and got the value, versus of oh, this is just a millionaire. They just trying to sell me or something. But without AC, it wouldn't happen, dog.
That's real, man. I appreciate it.
Man, I'm telling you, bro, that's why I've been telling you all these years, like, I got to get AC. I got to get him, dog.
Yeah,
no what is going
excited
on.
to be here, man. This is dope. Like,
yeah, man. It's been a fun time, dog. But what I want you to do real quick is, so just name and list some of the people or companies you have worked with thus far in your career. Now we on the back end of your career. So who have you worked with, and who was the most enjoyable project you worked on?
Oh man.
I'm gonna do my best. Dropping too. Get them out there, bro.
I'm not a name dropper, but I'll do my best. Let's see. I think last year alone we did Walmart, we did Amazon, we did Sony Music. We partnered with Yelp Atlanta.
Keep going. I love it. I love it.
I'm trying to think, bro. It's been a lot. It's been a lot. I don't want to.
That's big.
Yeah, it is. It is. Okay, I don't want to just like. I got like the logo page on my website, and it kind of cringy, but kind of cool at the same time, because you do all this stuff, you look back like, damn, I work for them.
So why is it cringy to you though? Because like you're behind it doing it, and you feel like, why does that make you feel that way? I think it's like that
introvert feeling. Yeah. Like that, like, oh my God. Like,
because now it's bringing a spotlight on you.
Yeah, it's like, wow, like, you know what I'm saying? But then if I go telling people like, oh, I work for this person, I work for this person, this company, it's like, wow, you're a big thing. And it's like, no.
Honestly,
you know what I'm saying? Dog. So it pulls in a lot of attention, but definitely work with some amazing companies, man. Some stellar companies, and some stellar people. Just like, even speaking about Kiana, just running into people who are also just on this journey forward. You know what I'm saying? It creates great opportunity, and it creates a network. I feel like for my network, I don't want to say I'm nothing without my network, but I rely on it heavily.
I see why, because it's like, you need a camera, can't shoot itself unless you're doing personal content, but with that camera, it has to have its muse in front of it. So your network is that. Those are the bodies you put in front of it, man. But everything you name, bro, again, to me, that's major, bro. Yeah. Like, again, whether it was 1 minute, 10 minutes, whatever, that's a major, dog. But out of them, what was your favorite, though?
My favorite was one that I didn't even name, and I just thought about it. So I worked with a magazine called Grind Pretty. Shout out to Mimi J. We've been doing this for like, it's hard to put a number on it, over 5 years. You know what I'm saying? So I've been able to be with her and travel with her throughout her journey without creating this like amazing organization targeted towards women. And we do cover shoots quarterly every year. So we did Jada in January. So, you know, I show up to work like any other situation. We kill it. Jada's energy was amazing. So Mimi J, the owner of Grand Prix, she's like, yeah, I didn't tell you, but we're going to put this video in Times Square, and we're going to have a magazine release in New York at the Lobos headquarters.
That's hard. That's hard.
At the Lobos headquarters in New York. So I'm like, what?
That's hard, bro.
I'm like, yo, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And it came at such a great time. I was getting so much great news, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I'm like, Times Square? So it's like something you can't even fathom. So I had to work that day. As soon as I got out of work, I'm in Hartsville. I'm like,
I'm going to
I'm going. I'm like, yo. So I pull up to the magazine release. It was great.
That's fine, bro.
Lobos everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to LeBron.
All right, pretty sure you
niggas some Lobos.
Tipsy in there, yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So it was just a surreal feeling. So being able to walk to Times Square and look up and see my work in Times Square was just like, wow, like, these are the flowers. Like, these are the moments. It's just like.
Would that be your biggest highlight moment for yourself, just seeing that, like, my work is in Times Square, or would it be something more just different from that?
It's hard to name a highlight as the biggest. I think the journey for me is the biggest. Because I meet so many people, bro. I meet so many people, dope. In my eyes, like, more talented than me. A lot of people just don't get opportunity. Like, you can be dope all day. You could be Michael Jordan, but if nobody don't find your ass, then you know what I'm saying?
What's the point? Yeah,
what's the point? So I meet a lot of LeBrons and I meet a lot of Michael Jordans, and you know what I'm saying? They ask for advice and I'm telling them, like, man, it's just the journey. Like, I haven't always been here. I haven't always had these opportunities. It took time. It literally took like 10 years.
And that's crazy. It's like, every time somebody speak about their journey and how long it took, yeah, they say it doesn't happen overnight, but I think 10 years is a magic number. But a lot of people see only maybe the back in at the 5-year through 4th year to where it come out. So it seemed like it's just been short, but I hear that number 10 a lot. But I guess those first 5 is just when you're really in the trenches and nobody paying attention, but I'll highlight to see it. You don't get your either flowers or your hoorah crowd until you're trending or something popping. And it sucks it's that way, but I've accepted to where it's like, that's why I don't hold nobody accountable for if you don't support me. I mean, sometimes it's like, you can show some love, but I know for a fact it takes a crowd for even some of your closest people to hop on like, yeah, such and such doing this and let me support this and that. But it sucks it's that way. Do you find some of that in your journey?
Most definitely. That's why I say it's just part of you. Some things you just got to accept that is being part of the game.
Yeah.
And it's like the support and the things that you want is sometimes it just get greater later. You know, and when it comes,
you gotta write that bar down. Support you get greater later. I like that as bars.
When it comes, it's up to you how you want to accept it. You can be the person like, oh, nah, you ain't see the vision. I don't really fuck with that. Because a lot of people don't know the vision. They don't know the journey.
Yes, bro.
So it's like you want someone who hasn't walked the journey to be this accepting when it just don't work like that.
Just because of your friend or family,
So when people spin the block on me, I'm like, hey, welcome. I've been over here.
Yeah.
I've been through this. You know what I'm saying? I've been through this was going on. So it's like, by the time you get here, it's like, welcome. I don't want to be the person that's turning you away because you didn't support me, because I knew nobody understood me. There were moments I knew nobody got it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I jumped in this industry at a great time. I was able to do production. You know what I'm saying? When we first graduated, I think after I interned, shout out to Ashley. She was a mass comm major either. I can't remember Ashley's last name. And I really wish I could. But I seen her in Miami and I'm like, hey, yo, listen, I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to do in Atlanta. Well, you know what I'm saying? This, that, and the third. She was like, well, I'm producing Family Hustle. Just come PA on Family Hustle. You know what I'm saying? So I worked on that. You know what I'm saying? Opportunities, you just got to be open to certain things. And I didn't have the highest role. Like I had to fight to move my way up. You know what I'm saying?
You was in that room though, man.
I was in that room. Sometimes it is just about being in the room.
I'm telling you.
To re-inspire yourself. So I'm like, oh, all right, cool. Like I'm re-inspired. Like, let's make this happen. And from that, I built off these opportunities. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't always an opportunity while I was working at the top. Sometimes I was building from the bottom. But like I said, if I'm in the corner, I'm listening from the corner. I'm not here just to be here. I'm here to advance and I'm here to learn.
That's hard, man. So with your the Hampton Media Group, do you plan to always still operate the camera, or you want to move towards you just working on the business instead of in it? What's your vision for that?
I think for right now, where I am right now, I kind of just want to provide more opportunity to other people, because I like I said, I meet a lot of dope people. You know what I'm saying? And I meet, maybe they're not dope. Maybe it's just somebody with an opportunity. Like I was pulling up to a gig to shoot some headshots for a law firm. A dude pulled up on me in an old Impala, all the windows down. His old lady in the front seat, 2 kids in the back seat. He seen us unloading all his gear. So he like, bro, just what y'all need me to do? Like, just give me bro, whatever you need me to do, I'll do it, bro.
Well, whoever you are, you a hustler, dog. Saying some shit like that, somebody you don't know.
Bro, this man got his kid, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got children. It hit a nerve. I'm like, yo, this man humbly pulled up on me like, yo,
that's hard.
I see you, black man. Like, I need something. Like, what can you take my number down, please? I need an opportunity. So perspective is everything, bro. Like, you could think you in the, you know what I'm saying? You the lowest of low. Like, I ain't got it. It ain't coming in. The
somebody
opportunities.
Got it 10 times worse.
Somebody got it 10 times worse. So, you know, that alone, I don't know if this sucks or not, but shit like that keeps me going. Like, sometimes you got to stay grounded. You got to be humble. And somebody pull up on you like, bro, I ain't got nothing.
At least you got that mindset, man. Because telling me, it's all the things you've been saying today, it's just very rare for somebody to think that way and to be so optimistic in the fact that they know this is life, man. It's like life is a game itself.
It is.
Until a certain point. And you just got to be prepared. So you're going to have highs, you're going to have lows. The only way you get up a mountain and be climbing to be at the peak, and you got to get to the next one, you got to come down. So when you're coming down, you got to be humble enough to know it's not going to last forever.
Yeah.
You know, things happen, but you're in a great headspace and I love what you're doing. But so tell everybody, what is I'm not going to go 5, but in the future, where do you see yourself as far as your business, yourself personally? What is your goals to, hey, within the next 2 or 3 years, this is where I want to be in my career?
I'm going to be completely honest and transparent. It changes all the time. So like I just said, I definitely want to, grow the business and hire more people, create more opportunity. But as more opportunity comes in, it's like, well, damn, like what I can go this way or we can go this way. So it's so many different things to invest in, and you definitely want to move with, how the world is moving. Definitely something I want to get more into is like real estate, more so like how we're in here today. Like I would love like a venue for creatives.
You saying as far as like owning your own real estate or shooting stuff for real estate?
No, not necessarily shooting things for real estate, but owning.
Okay, like got you.
So even if it's just owning spaces where people can come in and create, even if it's just owning spaces where people can come in and shoot events, and then third party book my media services, like tie everything in. So it's like, yeah. So we're thinking and we're pondering all the time of how we can make this grow while also just living in our moment. Like always tell people, everyone gets a run. Everybody gets a run.
You ain't lying.
It ain't no one gets a forever run. So when you have your run, you just want to make sure that you capitalize in your run. Make sure people hear you. Make sure people see you. Make sure, you're having these conversations and you're going to these events and you're networking and you're growing and working sideways, because that's your moment to shine.
Yes, sir.
Because when it's off, it's off.
Go like that, man.
Not saying that it can't come back on, but it's when your moment, bro, you got to put it in their face. You got to say, hey, wake up and say, hey, this is my moment, and I'm going to make it happen.
Own it.
Yeah, own it.
Yeah, man. You can be popping today, be doing nothing tomorrow. Like, it's important, like you say, once you own that run, you got to maximize your time, your availability, your mental, your health, because we can't predict nothing in the future. God has his plans for everybody, and once he provides you and open up those doors, either you're going to walk through it or let it close in your face, but once you own it, you own it. But I got a couple more questions for you real quick, but one thing, if you can look young AC in the eye, what would you tell him now as far as giving him the motivation or just giving him what advice would you give young AC right now from what you know now in this age?
Man, that's a really good question. I think a younger AC was more so like, it was always like I wasn't good at nothing. Like I wasn't tall.
Like, were you not good at it, or you just felt you weren't good at nothing?
Nah, I wasn't good.
Okay.
Not saying I'm just like terrible, but I tried things. Like I wasn't the tallest, I wasn't the fastest. You know what I'm saying? I had homies that hooped and played ball and did all that stuff. So it was kind of like, I wasn't necessarily a sidekick, but it was just like I was always supporting my friends who were good at things. You was in your
lane, man.
I was in my lane.
Your role.
Yeah, I was like comic relief. You know what I'm saying? So maybe there were a few moments where I'm like, what am I good at? What am I gonna do? Like, those moments where you transition and you go into college, it's like, damn, well, what am I gonna do?
Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm saying? I would probably just tell younger me to definitely just enjoy where you are now, but maybe to just give advice that everyone, like you said, has a role. You know what I'm saying? And roles changes. Roles change. And I feel like the friendships and the partnerships that I had back then, like I might have been comic relief then, but it's like now I'm the person that people call. Like I'm the person that people advice business-wise, things like that. So things change. So I was just telling myself, don't stress about it. Like everything just kind of comes with time. And I still tell myself this day, like everything kind of comes with time. Like I still have moments where I beat myself up like, bro, you ain't doing enough. Like you got to do more.
Yeah,
you got to do this.
Nowhere though.
And to this day, I'm hard on myself, and I'm learning to kind of step back and be like, hey, listen, if it's for you, as cliche as it sounds, if it's for you,
it's the truth though, man.
It's for you. You know what I'm saying? But I always tell people I definitely want to meet God halfway. So I'm gonna do the work, but I need that blessing on the back end.
I'll say the same thing. You may not know, people may not notice, but it's like we pray for this, pray for this, pray for that. But it's like, excuse me, sometimes I feel like God is in heaven sitting like this, like, I'm gonna do it for you, but we still have our duty in this physical realm to hold up the other end of the deal. Like he'll bless you for sure, but you might just sit here and pray about something and expect for it to just fall in your lap while you're just sitting around doing what you want to do, acting up and this and that. But you really got to sit here and, like you say, do your part to receive the other end of that blessing, man. Yeah. But it's a blessing that we are here to be able to do what we're doing today. But so to close out, if you can, like, just look at this is your camera right here. Just speak to any up and coming content creator, photographer, videographers. Get them a piece of advice on how to navigate through the stresses or whatever, and just how to, keep their head on swiveling and just be focused to get to where you are today, and again, a goal to even further than where you are. So what would you tell them to motivate them?
Okay, cool. Like I said before, just make sure you're capitalizing in your moment and make sure you're creating your moments. It's gonna be a lot of times where people aren't gonna book you for things, they aren't gonna hire you for things, but that's when you tap into your creative bag and you create those opportunities. Like you network sideways. Like us graduating from Albany State, we created a great network. I can call my peers and be like, hey, I got this going on. I'm trying to work on this. And they're in opposite lanes and they're able to pull me in their lane and kind of shine a little bit of light on me. So there's been a lot of things that I've done just off the creative strength that leaped me into another direction. It hasn't always been someone paying me and giving me an opportunity to create these moments and to move forward. So sometimes you just got to do it for yourself. Sometimes you just got to know that you the shit. You got to know that you tight. You got to know that you the one. Ain't none of that like I'm comparing and this person over here is dope and they dope. Everybody dope. Everyone's dope. What we're doing isn't hard. It's just, you know what I'm saying? It's more to it than actually picking up the camera. So I would say, stay in your bag creatively, stay in your bag mentally, make sure your mental is straight, because as bad as we want to chase this entrepreneurship journey, it gets difficult sometimes. It's not as structured as a corporate job or a 9-to-5. It's not. You wear all the hats, you're the boss and you're the janitor. So just understand what comes with what you want. And as cliche as it sounds, it's a marathon, nothing happens overnight. And you're going to see some amazing things happen for some other people. And you just got to learn to wait your turn, When it's your turn, capitalize,
Thanks, man.
Capitalize when it's your turn. And all the things that you wanted to do when it wasn't your turn, do it. Show them how you'll do it. Put it in their face, like I said before. But if it's something that you really want, nothing will come in between it. Nothing. You know what I'm saying? We still have to live life outside of this journey. So, problems won't stop. Life won't stop. But if you really want this, you'll definitely bring it home and you'll make it happen. So anybody who's, on the fence or thinking about putting the camera down or just going through a moment where you're feeling like you can't do this or it's not working for you, I definitely encourage you to, pick your camera back up, reach out to some people, definitely go through your phone and be like, who has a nice little run or who's popping right now? Who do I know that can I can just, hey, you need some headshots or you need like a promo video, you need some lifestyle footage, like test yourself, and continue to stay creative, continue to learn, continue to make mistakes, because if you don't make those mistakes, you'll never bounce back and you'll never learn from them. So definitely just stay the course, and I promise you it'll all work out. It just takes time.
Facts, man. Words from AC himself, man. So tell them where they can follow you at, find you on social media and your websites and stuff like that.
So my website is thehamptonmediagroup.com, and my Instagram handle is ac.hampton, not _Hampton. That's the drop shipping guy. We be going. Cause he popping in the drop shipping, so they be DMing me like drop shipping, like I'm ready. AC, I'm like, wrong AC. AC.Hampton. For anybody who's watching this, feel free to message me or DM me at any time. I'm always willing to, respond to questions or just inquiries or anything like that. So yeah, man.
Bet, man. So y'all make sure y'all follow me at Sir Gates BC all across the board, and make sure you tune into the Inherited Podcast. You can follow that all across the board too at NHERITD. That's Inherited, NHERITD. And again, this was another episode of the Inherited Podcast. Salute to y'all, man. Till next time. Thanks for listening and watching. We out.